I was shaking from the cold as I started the car at 4 a.m. The city at that hour is stripped down to its bones. A hush that makes every small sound impossibly loud. I'm usually fine driving that early, but the distant barking of dogs tightened something in my chest and made my hands clamp the wheel a little harder. I'd left for work early so I could get away sooner. Mia was flying in from Oregon the next morning for our first vacation together, and I wanted to be ready. I'd packed the night before and headed straight to a small hotel in Chinatown, right at the edge of the financial district. The room had 2 queen beds, a tiny walk-in closet jammed into one corner, and a little bathroom. From my window, the skyline felt unreal, office towers like a postcard I hadn't earned. I walked to a nearby Trader Joe's, bought snacks and water, ordered dinner from the restaurant downstairs, and called Mia to confirm her flight. Of course, she was still packing. Mia is always a last-minute packer, but she promised she'd be on an early Uber. That first night, sometime after I dozed off, I woke in that thin, dangerous space between sleep and waking when the mattress beside me dipped. It was slow and deliberate, like someone easing themselves down an inch at a time. The pressure crawled along the bed until it felt unbearably close. My hand slammed the laptop. The screen burst white and showed the room in cold detail. Rumpled sheets, the open closet door where we'd forgotten to close it, the empty stretch of carpet. There was no person, only a shallow indentation where the weight had been, as if someone had just stood up. It looked recent, pressed into the mattress like a bruise. Panic sharpened my instincts. I checked the bathroom, rifled through the cabinets, and threw open the closet. Everything was exactly where it should be. No sign of a stranger. The pipes in the building side, each tiny sound felt like a footstep. When I glanced at the clock, I realized I'd overlooked the one place that always feels like a mouth waiting to close. Under the bed. Cold ran through me. I dropped to my knees and peered into the black. I slid my arm under, fingers scraping the metal frame and raising a thin, grating sound that tore at the silence. Dust motes swam in the laptop light like miniature ghosts. My hand met emptiness. No shoes, no hair, no shape, only cold air that felt like someone else had just breathed. When I crawled back up, the indentation in the mattress had smoothed out as if a hand had wiped away any proof that anything had ever been there. The room was ordinary again, but the certainty of what I'd felt sat on my ribs like a stone. I stayed on the bed until the first thread of sunlight bled under the curtains. I checked Mia's flight, thankfully on time, and let myself take a 1-hour nap before the Uber arrived. Sleep came shallow and jittery, full of half-memories. Mia's call woke me. She'd landed and was on her way. I threw on jeans and raced downstairs, the city outside soft and waking, the memory of the night pressing at every step. We spent the day like people, finally getting to know a place they'd been dreaming about. Chinatown smelled of soy and ginger. We grabbed too many postcards, laughed over a bakery's ridiculous line, rode a cable car for the novelty of it. The sun warmed us at the marina. The Golden Gate a rust smear against the horizon, and we ate clam chowder from bread bowls. At Pier 39, I carried the memory of the mattress like a secret in my pocket. The city felt impossibly bright, and I didn't want to throw a shadow over everything. So I kept my silence. We had an early dinner around 7, caught a late movie, and left the theater into a wet neon world. At 2 in the morning, we decided to walk back to the hotel. The streets were emptied of the daytime crowd. Storefronts reflected like dark mirrors, and sodium lights gave everything a tired yellow halo. The walk took us about 30 minutes for reasons I couldn't explain. The memory from the night before kept crawling back up into my head. I kept glancing over my shoulder, convinced someone was following. Every empty doorway looked like a place someone might step out from. Mia noticed and asked, half teasing, half worried, "Why do you keep looking back?" I shrugged and lied by omission. I didn't want to scare her. We got back to the hotel, munched on the snacks I'd bought, and sank into a drowsy, happy fatigue. We fell asleep exhausted. Then, later that night, Mia woke up. She saw a figure standing in the doorway of the walk-in closet. The narrow strip of open door, framed by moonlight. And, in her words, someone just standing there, right in the middle. She told me she blinked and thought she was hallucinating from tiredness, so she squeezed her eyes closed and went back to sleep. In the light of morning, the memory sat like a bruise. We checked out and went for lunch, and over clinking silverware and the hum of other conversations, Mia told me. Her voice went thin when she described the silhouette, a male shape, only a dark outline at first, perfectly still. When I told her about the mattress, the pressure, the sudden lack of proof, the hand under the bed that found nothing, both of us froze. The two halves met in horrible, precise alignment. My unseen weight, her rigid figure in a doorway. We left the hotel with our pockets lighter and our talk thinner. We joked later to keep the laugh lines working, but the joke never really landed. Even now, when I pass that shabby hotel in Chinatown, my feet slow without meaning to. The memory returns like someone breathing at the back of my neck. The cold crawl across the bed, the impression that someone had been close enough to touch me. And it hits me with the same small, absolute dread I felt at 2 in the morning.